got married or are about to get married, you know this already. Over the last decade, the cost of weddings has taken a sharp rise, with multiple events, days-long celebrations, and pricey, unique touches. Saying I do has never been more expensive.
Yeah, couples are spending a lot of money. ABC's Jaclyn Lee traveled to Nashville, a popular wedding destination, to meet with industry experts and to learn how to save for that special day.
There's nothing quite like planning a wedding and finding out just how much it's going to cost.
Even just looking up the numbers for this interview, I was getting anxiety.
Sarah Miller is a wedding planner in Nashville, one of the most popular wedding destinations in the country.
So what is the average cost of a wedding in 2023?
I would probably say our average right now is in that $65,000 to $75,000 range in Nashville. Yes.
65 grand.
65 grand.
Is that normal?
Bite your tongue.
Like, that's so much money.
It is. Well, I mean, I would say 7 years ago, that was half of the cost.
Miller points to inflation and supply shortages for the sharp rise in cost. Meet Angela and Chris Winder, who got married this year after 7 years of dating.
When did you start building a budget?
It was one of the first things that we did. So we went in with what we thought was a very good budget. It was not a very good budget. Our first number was like $30,000 to $35,000.
Well, and $30,000 to $35,000 is a lot of money. It sounds like a healthy budget.
That's what we thought.
Yeah,
and we didn't have
you would think.
Yes. Our venue itself was almost $10,000. There goes a third of your budget without even touching any planning stuff of just the venue, no food, no drinks, no nothing. So you're kind of set up for failure, really.
Financial expert Haley Sachs, also known as Mrs. Dow Jones, says it's important to weigh the investment side of things.
Millennials are budgeting $23,000, which means that they are taking $6,000 out in debt to afford these $29,000 weddings. The long-term effect of paying for a wedding versus putting that money towards a home is that a wedding is a liability, not an asset. If you put that money into the stock market, say an index fund that returns 8% a year, by the time that you would reach your 30th wedding anniversary, you would have, if you put that $29,000 in, around $292,000. So it just goes to show you how much your money can compound over time and grow versus if you just spend it all at once.
Chris and Angela ended up taking out a loan to pay for the mounting costs, paying around $50,000 total. And the dilemma of whether a wedding is worth that much money is still up for debate.
Was it worth it? Spending this much money on your wedding day?
Personally, I loved our day, and even if it was extremely expensive, it was beautiful and something that I'll never forget.
It was beautiful. I wouldn't change it now, but yeah, I think we could have done some other stuff with that $50,000.
All right, and Jaclyn Lee is with us now. You know what? It's a lot of money, but how do you deal with, couples? One wants to spend a lot of money, the other wants to save. How do you have that conversation when it comes to talking about a budget?
Well, it's a special day. It really is. You're celebrating your love. But when you're trying to figure out how much money we have and what we're going to spend it on, the experts we spoke with say, first off, you want to prioritize. So what are those few items that are really important to you? Like maybe you want that one photographer who costs a certain amount, or maybe you want this specific venue on a specific day. From there, then you figure out what can you compromise on. Maybe you can have smaller flowers, you could have a different venue. Something that we learned from this piece was if you have your wedding, let's say on a Sunday or even during the middle of the week, you can save a vast amount of money. And even if you had, let's say, a winter wedding compared to a spring wedding, that could cut it in half.
And what about people who have a smaller budget? Because some people, you're talking 5 figures here, but what about people who have smaller budgets?
So what's really interesting is the DIY community online, right? There's pages and accounts dedicated to how you can save money on your wedding by DIY flowers. You can put things together yourself. You can make beautiful arches on your own, recruit some friends and family. So people are turning to that and sharing those ideas online so people can save some money because it is so expensive when you see those numbers.
Get creative.
Yeah, people are going to YouTube. Let me figure out how to make it and do it myself. Jaclyn, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, hey, Hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.